Hi Ray, hey, yeah, thanks for the message. Yeah, I did actually get started last week. Just finishing up right now, and moving on to the next steps. Typically, in the first bit or first stage, what I want to do is take a look at your site, take a look at your code, see how many pages you have in your site, figure out the best layout, and more importantly, for me, time-wise, is figure out how much effort is going to be required to clean up the code in your existing site. So what I did is, what I'd usually do is I'd download a copy of the site, grab some of the pages, I would run them through an HTML cleaner or see how much work is involved with cleaning up the HTML. In your case, I was able to do it in minutes. I was really impressed. The pages in your site, basically once I removed the DWT, the Dynamic Web Template, and took a look at what code was left behind, it's all perfect HTML5 clean code that I can work with. I don't have to do any cleanup. There's going to be about 30 seconds of style updates just to make sure that any of your images, like this one here, would be responsive, but I can do that through CSS. I don't have to go through and do that by modifying the tag here. I may have to do that. We'll see what happens. But we're talking minutes as opposed to hours of cleanup required. So that time, that's just been reduced. Now I'm at a stage where we can taking a look at how many pages we have in your site. So I ran it through a sitemap generator just to see these are the pages that Google has spidered, and I'm going to send you a link to this page here, and you can tell me if there's any pages in here that you don't want transferred over. Okay, so that's sort of the next stage. By the looks of it, there's 24, 28, close to 40 plus pages, maybe 36 pages in total, right? That are Googled. But when I actually did an update to the template DWT, I think it listed about 58 pages. So let me just see how many pages are connected here. Update, 59 pages in your site. So there's probably quite a few pages in here that are not linked into the menu bar, or they're just not being used. So typically what I would do though is I use this sitemap generator, run through it with you, make sure if there's any pages missing, that they get added in there. Or in your case, what I was just going to do is apply the Blacktop Dynamic Web Template. I'm going to modify the template in that particular theme to pick up the code and the content in your existing site. Okay. So next steps. What I would do at this point here is we take a look at what pages you want transferred over. In this case, it's going to be about the same amount of effort to do the 30 odd pages as it is to do the 59, because I'm just going to create a dynamic web template with the Blacktop. I'm just going to modify that a little bit just to pick up on the existing layout. And boom, Bob's your uncle, right? And what I do when I do these content transfers is I will take what you have in your existing site. I guess we can look at this right online here. Okay, let's take a look at a question and answers page here as an example. What we have in here is we have a column in the middle for your content, then we have a column on your left, and the column on the left, as we know, is probably about the same for all pages because that's the way the template was built. Oh, you have a few different. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll take the content here, and I will take the content on the left hand side and I'll just reorganize it a little bit. I'll put these three sort of boxes over here, I'll put them into a horizontal configuration instead of a vertical, right? Because we have that those types of layouts in the Blacktop template. Here's an example here. We have a content box. It has an animated icon, has a title, and that. Basically, these types of boxes here are the same as these boxes here. It's just a heading and text and a link, and then on this type of box we have a heading, text, and we can add a link in here, and the addition of an animated icon which we can keep or remove. But the same idea. Instead of four boxes across, I go with 3 so they'd all be a little bit wider because they're all flexible. Okay, so that is sort of the the general how I would take your existing content. I would have it fit sort of an existing layout that we already have, right? In this case, I would take, like I said, the boxes, convert them over to 3 instead of 4, and then have your content below like this. I'd pick a little, I'd update the title and any secondary bits of text here based on the text in your page already. Okay, now that's a fairly straightforward and content transfer that I would do. It would take me maybe 5 minutes a page, 10 minutes a page at most, right? That's just to do the basic. Now there's a lot of pages in your site where you only have some basic content. It doesn't have to be fancy, and that's where I could take this layout here from the services page, sort of repurpose it to do the bulk of your pages in your site, because most of the pages have, like I said, boxes or things like this on the side and then content in the center, and I can transfer that directly over to have a similar look. Or we can do something and keep it more in line with what you have here. So instead of going with the horizontal boxes, we have the different layouts we can work with, like the 2-column left side menu page here, right, where we have an almost identical layout, content on the right, menu and stuff on the left. And of course we could take, the same thing, menu on the left, put these boxes on the left, and have the exact same sort of format and layout. We can go that route. Okay, so that's another option. And finally, as a bit more of a time-consuming option, and this is where you may want to take your most important pages in your site, or the ones you really want to sex up or really spiff up a little bit. And then what we can do is take a look through each of the different pages that are in the Blacktop template and take the content from your existing page and sort of apply it as best we can. And what I mean by that is I'll take the About Single page as an example. And this is a page that is more than just content. It has an image, it has a bullet list, it has icons, and down here we have sort of a component in here with different images, and then down below we have a bit of a paragraph. Well, we can take content from an existing page and try and fit it into one of these more detailed oriented pages, providing we have some content to put in here that's going to fit. So you may need to provide some, right? But that's also, the setup for these pages takes quite a bit longer. This could be take me anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour, really depending on how complex you want it to be, and that can get pricey, right? So if I go with something like the 2-column left with the majority of your pages, and or something like this where I already have that bits in place, and I'm just repurposing it, and then the content down below, like I said, that's going to be anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes a page, not too expensive to transfer over. If we want to move it to something that's, I said, more like one of the existing template pages that has all the cool bells and whistles, but it takes longer to set up, then it could be anywhere from half an hour to an hour, really depending on how much content there is. And the thing is, there's not a lot of content in your site that's going to fit into those sort of more detailed pages as it is. Oops, what's going on here? I'll just pick the comments here, right? That's just a basic form page. You have your boxes and that. How do you take this type of content and fit it into one of those pages, right? That may be something you want to do down the road. But what I suggest is if you want to get fancy and use those inner pages, may just pick a few of the pages in your site, and we can do that. Because what I am going to do is your home page is I'm going to take your boxes, your content, everything down here, and I'm going to maybe look through different areas in your site, like reservations, about us. I'm going to grab bits and pieces from elsewhere in your site as well to really help build up the home page right here. We're really going to make this page shine, right? And typically, a typical content transfer, what I do with these Gen 11 templates is I'll spend the hour or more on the home page making it look really sharp. I'll pull bits of information in from other pages to sort of help fill in the, I'll take a look at what your site's about and what the most important information is, and if you want to tell me what that is, that's fine. I'll I'll put it in here, but I will highlight the important bits of information about your site, because that's what this page does. It tells people in one shot what your site's about without them having to maybe go to different areas, right? But I will update all these different sections or get rid of the ones that just don't work, and really sex it up, so to speak. Then usually what I do is depending on the type of content, I'll take one of the basic template pages and I'll use that to format the remainder of the content in your site. That tends to be the most cost-effective way, especially when we're doing say a 30-page site. That way, there's the cost of the time on the index. Most of the time is spent on the index page, and then I'm spending 5 to 10 minutes each page after that. So sort of we're looking at a cost breakdown then of the site setup, sliders, header, footer, all that stuff I do for you, obviously. Usually that takes a couple hours to get all done properly. So, and that includes your home page, getting any sliders, video in the background flipped out, all your menus done, a couple hours. So that's usually the base rate, about $200. The home page and the other pages, we'll take a look at how detailed, but if you want me to make a really fancy index page, right? I mean, I can make a nice simple one too, like I do with the others, but if you want me to spend the time on the index page, and I recommend it just because it's good, and that's obviously the first page in your site. We take a look at that plus the other 30 pages. Now, if I could lowball it on the inside pages, right, using a simpler layout, and let's just say I'm spending 5 to 10 minutes a page, plus the index page, right? So for all your pages, all the 30 pages, including the index page, that's about 4 hours plus the couple hours to set up all the headers, the footers, the library assets. So we're looking at a total of about 6 hours, around $600, right? Now we can take it even further, right, or do something else. One is you can tell me right here, if you don't want any of these the content transferred over, but it looks like you want it all nice and tight. So if there's any other pages you want me to really sex up based on any of the existing layouts in the Blacktop template, we can do that now. We can do it at another date or when you have more content or something to put in there. But looking at them, most of the pages in your site, there's information in the center, there's information on the side. There's not a lot of images or other things to work with, so it would be a waste of money at this point to try and really spiff them up when I can make them look really good, right, using one of the 2-column layouts. I don't even have an example of that, and I think I clicked away on it somewhere. Like something like this, we can make them all look really good and really sharp based on these layouts like this, right? And like I said, that for me would probably take in around the 5 to 10 minutes a page to set up. So that's not a big deal because your content's already clean and easy to work with. So anyways, I'm just giving you sort of the next steps. Next steps, I'll send you a link to the HTML sitemap page. If there's pages in here you don't need anymore, let me know. If not, those will be the ones I'll be transferring the content over for, and setting up properly for you. And then it's the index page. You want me to make it really spiffed up, which I'm pretty sure you want me to do. And if there's any other pages that you want me to really focus my attention on and use some of the more advanced layouts that we have in the template, I just need the content that would go in there, because like I said, these ones, most of them have images, but your pages don't. So it's almost like, well, you're going to have to either come up with images for me or let me know what type of images to put in there and what type of content to put in there, because most of the content, actually pretty much all of your content, I can fit in here without any explanation. It's just when we get into the more intricate layouts and whatnot, that's where things change up a little bit. So anyways, wanted to give you a heads up on that and let you know that yes, I've got the cleanup is done and I'm ready to start applying the new template and get rolling. I just wanted to sort of tag a price on you there, or let you know what cost variables we can go with now that I've had a chance to look through everything. So, and like I said, I went and normally it takes me a while to do the HTML cleanup, but because everything's nice and clean in your site, I just updated the DWTs and it took me all of like 10 minutes to sort of do that. So that just saved a whole bunch of time.